Hey everyone, welcome to the College Lens podcast. I'm Alokika and this is Gavin.
Hey everyone, I'm Gavin. Here at the College Lens, our goal is to target college isolation by bringing different perspectives and journeys that allows listeners to relate and feel a little less alone. Just a reminder, we are not professionals. We're here to listen just like you.
And we really quickly just wanted to thank Aspire Skill Development for supporting us. Now, off to the pod. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. This is the College Lens. I'm Alokika and I'm here with your host, Gavin. And this is the eighth episode. We're like almost done, Gavin. What the
Yeah.
heck?
Oh
We're
my
like
goodness.
Yes, there's like two more episodes left and it's so bittersweet. I'm gonna cry, but it's okay. For now, let's welcome our amazing guest for this week's podcast, Delaney Mosteller. How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. How are you, Gavin?
I'm doing pretty good. This last week was crazy because there was a power outage at my school and it was just a wild ride for sure. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Yeah, I had my coffee, so now I'm doing great. It was a really busy day, so I just had to grab it. So that's how I'm doing. I'm literally surviving on coffee today, but it's okay. How is your week been, Delaney? Any exciting things going on? And then after that, you could also introduce yourself.
Okay. My week's been good. Definitely just staying busy, trying to get all my homework done, go to classes
Mhm.
and also like make time for myself to still go to the gym and hang out with some friends, run errands here and there. Um, but I was actually telling Gavin earlier, I actually had like this presentation for one of my classes over KFC in Japan, which is like super random, but it was really fun.
Oh,
Basically, like it's a big tradition in Japan to go to a KFC, and the KFCs in Japan are like a lot nicer. And then you go and eat like Christmas dinner in KFC, which is super weird and super interesting, but it was cool to research and give a presentation about. So that was super fun.
that's
Yeah,
so
that's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah, I've heard like
Mhm.
fast foods are so much more like grander and fancier abroad than
Yeah.
they are here. Like the McDonald's in Japan and Korea and stuff are like top tier level. Even in
Yeah.
India. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I don't know, it's so cool.
They
United
like
States, pick it
look
up a
a
little
lot
bit.
nicer.
Hello.
I agree.
Yeah.
We're slacking over here.
For
But
real.
like it's so crazy. All the buildings are so much nicer. And the we looked at the ingredients as like part of our presentation, and it is like insane how much like unhealthier the US is. Like it is so
Yeah.
concerning. It was like two huge paragraphs for like the ingredients in the US, and it was like 5 to 10 ingredients for the Japanese like
Jeez.
Dang.
ingredients. It was crazy. So,
Dang.
yeah, that
Oh,
was interesting to look at for sure. But also 7-Elevens are a big thing
huh.
in Japan.
Interesting.
They're like mini grocery stores. So, I don't know. That's
Huh.
super cool too.
Yeah, that is really
Interesting.
cool.
How
Very
fascinating.
interesting. But Delaney, pivoting off that, tell us about yourself. Where do you go to school? What are you studying? Give us a little background.
Yeah, of course. And also, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm so
Of
excited
course.
about this and I'm so excited to be talking with you guys. But I am a first year at CO Boulder and I'm in the Leeds Business School studying finance and accounting. And I hope to one day work towards some sustainable initiative. And I want to work towards a healthier earth and society. So that's the dream. I love the outdoors, so combining my passion with my degree is the end goal.
That's awesome. What kind of drove you toward that passion? Like what sparked the whole thing?
So actually, it started when I was 11. I actually had an amazing opportunity through an organization called Children's International Summer Village, where I traveled to India for a month and I got to learn about world peace education with other 11-year-olds from like all over the world. And together we learned about different pillars of global peace education. And so that was the first time that I learned about sustainability. And I was like, I really like this topic. I think it's super interesting to create something for the longest time frame like imaginable and kind of like the recycling and everything that goes into it. Um, so it just I loved thinking about it and that has always just stuck with me.
That's so cool. I mean, a lot of people are now slowly starting to realize the importance of sustainability and like how
Mhm.
important it is. And I think what else did you say? Finance? Was it
Yes,
sustainability?
finance and
Yeah,
accounting
and I
is what
think
I'm
that's a
looking
very
at.
cool little duo there you've got. That's cool.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I
I'm actually thinking of finance myself, so we might have some similar classes
Do it,
together.
do it,
That's
Yes,
do
awesome.
it.
finance and strategy management. So
Oh,
Ooh,
that's what I'm thinking,
that's cool
but
too.
you never know. You never know.
You never
What were
know.
you saying?
Life throws some curveballs at you.
Yeah.
yeah. Alokika, I know earlier you were just kind of business admin. What
Mm,
started to change your mind?
I think, well, finance has the money, so that's one. And then I think strategy management is something that I've always, like, for me, like, I always like to plan stuff out and see why things happen for a reason. And I know a lot of people also go into the engineering route for that. But it's more technical in engineering and stuff like that. But strategy management is more like, okay, what do we do to make this work and successful and flourish and keep it going and not just like a little spike and then come back down. So, and I think that's really fascinating. So, that's what I'm thinking for right now. You never know. I might be doing something completely different, like by the end of next year, but that's the plan, you know? At least I'm not business undecided anymore in my brain.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a win.
I would always say go to finance. I also am studying finance, so
Yeah,
can never go wrong there. Um,
exactly.
but Delaney, as a freshman, how's been your experience at Boulder so far? Everyone has a different freshman experience.
Boulder has been so fun and so amazing so far. I like love the location. I mean, like waking up and like rolling to the side and seeing the Flatirons is just like the best thing ever. So I feel so fortunate to do that. And I mean, I'm in state, so I just like I have so much love for Colorado. But Boulder has definitely been an experience for sure. It definitely like is different than my hometown. Which has been fun to like be a part of and immerse myself in the culture here, but it's definitely took some adjusting. I won't lie.
Yeah, I bet. Are there what are you like involved in? Some cool things.
So in school, I am involved in Global Platinum Securities, which is a national investment group, and we learn about different companies and like what makes a company a good company, and we learn about value investing. So investing in stocks that will generate revenue over a long period of time. And then I'm also involved in Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a business fraternity. And I'm actually the academic chair for that. So I'm figuring out some study table logistics with finals coming up, which is super exciting. And then I'm also part of a sorority. I'm in Chi Omega, which is super fun. And I'll be like living in the house next year and everything. So I'm really excited to like live with a big group of girls and create lots of relationships and friendships. And so I think that'll be super fun. And I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, you are all over the place doing everything you can.
Yeah.
Out of the Tell us more about that. You said like a business sorority, right?
Oh yeah, the business fraternity.
Fraternity, sorry. Tell
Oh
me
no, you're
about
so
that.
good. Okay, so AK, it's called like AK Sci for short. But basically like we do a lot of networking events and we also talk about our resumes and interviewing and we work on a professionalism and just like various avenues, whether it be like LinkedIn or like looking at social media. And so, and it's also like a great community of people to have and to know in your classes, to see around the business building and stuff like that. And I forgot like another one of my like big commitments, but I'm in the Lead Scholars program as well through the business school. So through the Lead Scholars program, I'm able to like learn in a cohort of
Mm,
like a smaller cohort of people, and then the reason for the whole KFC project that I talked about earlier is through the Lead Scholars program because we'll be going to Tokyo, Japan for some business visits and to learn about like globalization and Japanese culture this May. So that would be also very fun.
Yeah, so I mean Tokyo sounds like a lot of fun, I know. I've always wanted to be there actually. Like you're gonna have to tell me what all the things that we need to do when I go there one day. It's definitely on my bucket
Of
list
course.
for sure. But kind of pivoting just a little bit. So how like you talked about your experience just a little bit about, starting in Boulder. Um, how did it feel to like kind of I know like the nerves of, separating from your home and starting this new chapter of your life that is completely like independent by yourself. Like, how was that? Was that like a smooth transition? Was that kind of challenging? I know it can be for a lot of people, especially who are listening. So, how was that experience for you?
So going to an in-state school, I would say that I definitely went in overconfident.
mm,
I live like 45 minutes away from campus, so I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's no big deal. Like my family's just down the road and like all of these things." But and I was familiar with Boulder growing up, like I would have soccer games here growing up, but it's so I didn't give myself like that much grace for the transition. Like I did move, like all my stuff is in Boulder now. Like I'm on campus all the time. Like I moved still. And so I think that like recognizing that big transition and like accepting that I did undergo this change was kind of like a bigger deal for me because like at first I was just so overconfident and I was like, I'm totally fine. And then a few weeks in, I was like, wait, my family's not just down the road. Like, I'm not going to
mm,
see them for months. Like, I am no longer with my high school friends. I have to meet like all new people and figure out new street names and like where to get my groceries or et cetera, et cetera. So it was definitely like a transition that I wasn't fully ready for, but I'm also really thankful for that experience because I think that in the future, I'm sure I'll move again, but I definitely won't be as naive next time, which is
mm.
a plus.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that a little bit. I'm out of state, so moving really far away from my family was stressful, and I had that same thing. Like I need to meet all new people, learn all new like things. But the good news was everybody else was in the same situation I was. Everybody else
Mhm.
also had to meet new people and was also moving away from their family, and so I think that created a, a much easier culture, like to build friends in, you know? And then in
Yeah.
that situation, it's all about finding the right group of people to be around.
hmm I think so too. And Alokika, what was your experience like?
Mine, mine was
Mhm.
interesting because I talked about this in episode 3 or 4, I don't remember, but I had a lot of like accessibility issues here, which kind of ruined my first impression of college because it's
Mhm.
like you expect me to be independent, but at the same time you're putting all these obstacles in front of me, and when I'm trying to like ask you to fix it, you're like taking so much time and then I'm being blamed on for not like reaching out. So it was a whole thing. And Boulder is literally like right next to the mountains, so it's not like flat. It's like there's
Mm-hmm.
hills and stuff. So that was like a bit of a transition. And like on top of that, like the social aspect of things, like you have to meet people and stuff like that. And I was like dealing with other things already, and then I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have roommates, so I had to like put in the extra effort to do that. And then the business school, like everyone's like overly like social and it felt like everybody already knew each other. So it was like,
Mhm.
where am I going wrong here? Like I literally moved in the same day everybody else did, but here I
Mm,
Yeah.
am like only one like literally like standing here like what the heck's happening? Like everyone already has their friend group and everything like that. So that was my like
Mhm.
fresh like fall semester was kind of like bumpy for sure, but I think I've come to peace with it a little bit and definitely like learn how to like make things right because when something's happening, you need to understand to like use your voice and communicate that. So now like my accessibility is much better. I've like told them like this is not okay. Like I am paying the tuition to go here. Like I deserve every single resource that is available to me. So yeah,
Right.
but it is very better, a lot better now. And I'm doing podcasts with Gavin and we're having the time of our life. So it's great.
There you go. I'm sorry about the rough beginning. That sounds like it was definitely a tough challenge to overcome, but
Yeah.
I'm also glad that things are getting better.
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's why like it was kind of like there was a spark in like doing this project in the first place because like if you'd see me, you'd never really know that I was dealing with stuff like that, you know? And it's like it's very easy to like assume and like know make stuff up about people in your head and then you're like,
Right.
"Oh, wait, that's not how they are." Or like, "Oh, wait, you went through that? I didn't know that." So it's like don't judge the book by its cover. I keep telling people that a lot. So,
yeah.
yeah, that's again, that's like another form of
Is it different?
isolation if you think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's so
that is for
many
sure.
different like ways people can be isolated. And I know me in the past, I've dealt with sorts of isolation. And I don't know, we've talked to so many different people on this podcast about isolation and how it kind of can sneak up. You can be with people but still be feeling isolated, even though you're surrounded with people who hang out with you all the time. It's not just
For
about
sure.
being with people. So I don't know, Delaney, if you've ever experienced any isolation like that, or if you know people who have, if you could share an experience about that.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with your point that like isolation can sneak up on you. I think that that's so true. Um, I kind of like also going back to moving to Boulder.
Mm-hmm.
After the first few months, I felt like so isolated on campus, just like being a freshman. I didn't have my car for the first time, and so I just like felt so confined to like the 3 mile radius of campus. And that was isolating for sure. I kind of like felt like I couldn't even go outside of campus, and it was like a weird feeling to have. And I remember driving, like one of my friends was house sitting for one of her family friends in Boulder. And that was the first time that I'd left campus. And I remember driving through the neighborhoods and being like,
Wow.
whoa, like I kind of forgot what this was like seeing a dog and like a family on the side of like just going on like an evening walk. And I was like, oh my goodness, I felt so out of touch with like reality in a sense, just because of
Mm-hmm.
my location and like just because I felt so isolated like from moving in the midst of trying to like gain a better like feel more comfortable in my surroundings by being on campus. I also ended up feeling pretty isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment and just talk about the transition of not having like having a car and doing literally everything, going out to get like lunch whenever you want, going out to meet with friends whenever you want, and then suddenly you're here without a car? Like I was like,
Right.
I'm like literally like so like that's another form of isolation without your car. Like
Yeah.
my car literally felt like my best friend at a point of time.
100%. I literally like it was so weird. I feel like for me at least, like when I would get super stressed, me and my best friend from high school used to go on drives and we
Yeah.
would just like listen to music, de-stress, just like talk, catch up. And like it's so weird now having like not having that outlet. And so that was also like a something that I took for granted before I came to college for sure,
Yeah,
is that
Gavin.
freedom to just go.
Yeah. Gavin, how was it for you? Because you're out of state. So how was that?
Yeah, a lot of my friends drove their cars up to school, but I didn't. I flew when I moved out to Colorado. So not having a car has definitely been a hurdle to kind of figure out. At first, I just assumed, oh, I have everything I need on campus. I have people here, I have food here, I have like a library, I have everything I need. But then I quickly started to understand how like confined I was to just this space. And so I needed to get out and do something every once in a while. And
Hmm.
it wasn't easy because I didn't have a car. It started getting a lot better as soon as ski season started. I'm a huge snowboarder. So I would get up all the time to the hill, just have a good time. That was once that started to happen, I started feeling good because I could get out once a week. But other than that, like yeah, it's difficult not having a car, but it's still manageable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you think you're gonna like drive your car up here next year?
Absolutely. My parents just bought a new car, so I'm gonna buy their old car off them, and then take that up here next year. It'll be good in the snow, and that way I can go out get groceries, and it's just so much more freedom. So I'm gonna try and have a car next year for sure.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And it'll support your weekends so you can go snowboarding as well, which is
Exactly. That's the whole
a
goal. That's the whole
necessity.
goal.
Are you into snowboarding or skiing, Delaney?
I love skiing. Skiing's like actually my favorite thing ever. Like I feel so at peace when I'm on the mountain, but I've been skiing like since I was 3.
Oh.
So I love it. Yeah, I love it so
Okay, you
much.
guys, you guys need to convince me to try it now. Because
Oh
I
my gosh,
lived in
please. That would
Colorado
be so
and
fun.
I think yeah, I've been here almost a decade and I have never gone skiing before. So
Oh
I
my
need
gosh,
to
you have to. There's nothing.
This has to change.
There's nothing. There's nothing like fresh snow and
Yeah.
you're
So true.
going. I don't like listening to music when I snowboard because
Hmm.
it's just so quiet. You go out, you go up the lift, it's like fresh air, the trees. You get off the lift, you start going, and it's just perfect. I don't know. There's nothing else to
Yeah,
say. It's so
that's
relaxing.
so true. I totally agree. Literally couldn't agree more. But like even if there's new snow, then it's like everything's like a winter wonderland and it's so pretty. But then
Oh.
sometimes like when they groom it and there's like no new snow, it's like corduroy. Like it's like the
Yes.
slope is
Yes.
groomed and I love just like making those big ass turns and carving into the mountain. I love it
Mm-hmm.
so much. And I swear like the air is more fresh and it just like
Yes.
the air like tastes better. Like I don't know if that makes any
It's
sense, but
perfect. No, it
I swear
does.
that's a thing.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm sold. That was a great pitch, guys. I appreciate it.
I'm glad that we won you over for that.
Yeah. So,
The only downside is it's a little rough on the wallet. That's for sure.
oh
Oh
really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a bit of a downside, I will
Okay.
say.
I gotta start saving up then to go to
True.
my to have that first experience. But so Gavin, it seems like you like taking time out to go like skiing and snowboarding is like your self-care, right?
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people forget that, like, especially with that transition of like, coming to college and like taking like trying to be independent. Like people are like, oh, I need to get this done or I need to get that done. But they forget about actually themselves, right?
Mhm.
And like the importance of self-care and the importance of actually like taking time out to do stuff for yourself. Like, and I don't mean like with your friends because I guess like yes, that is for yourself too, but you're still with someone and you're like using your social battery and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But also like taking time for yourself and like actually getting to know yourself and like having fun with that, you know? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I think that that's so important, like so important, just to like get to know yourself, set time aside, just to like let your brain run and like be aware of your thoughts, be aware of how you're thinking. Like that for me is so critically important. Like, especially when life gets super busy or I have a lot of stress, I think that like the best thing I can do for myself is to set aside time. My two favorite things to do are to exercise. So I love going on runs.
Yeah.
I love like riding the stationary bike and setting up my little Peloton video and doing
Yeah.
my 30-minute high intensity training workout and just like going and just like letting loose and like exercising. And I love watching the sunset so much because
Mm,
just like watching the sunset just like it makes me feel so centered and it like gives me time to just sit and watch and to be and to think and to just recognize how I'm thinking, accept where I am and like think about where to go next. Gavin, how
yeah,
about you? I'll pass it off to you.
I no, yeah, yeah. I do think it's so important to realize like you're at college to learn and make connections, but also if that's all you do, you're gonna burn out so fast, so fast. And it's gonna be way worse if you burn out and then need to take a week to recover where you can't get as much work done as you need to get done versus scheduling out work and scheduling out time for yourself that way, you can be super productive, and then you also get to just take your time to go snowboarding, go watch the sunset, go hang out with your friends if that's what recharges you, watch TV for a little bit. Like whatever you need to do, make time for yourself to do it. It's not worth the go, 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 and then burnout. That is just not the
Mhm.
way to do it.
I
Exactly.
agree.
For me, I like, okay, I used to dance a lot. Like, I haven't had the time yet because I feel like I'm so busy all the time. But like dancing is like kind of like a little getaway for me into the world, you know, like
Mm,
literally me, myself, and I and the music. It's just amazing. I know not a lot of people know that either, but I love dancing. I've tried to like do it here, but it's just doesn't work out in my little dorm. It just doesn't. So
mm,
I'm like waiting to like get back at it. But I think I've also noticed that like the business school, especially here, it's like I think you said it earlier, Delaney, that it's like such a bubble and you're doing the same thing over and over again. You see the same freaking people every single day. Like even with your
Hmm.
classes, and even if you don't have the classes, you see them in the hallway at the exact same time because your routes are similar. And it's like,
Right.
I love you, but this is like a little cycle that I'm in
A
for like
hundred
6 whole
percent.
months, and I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I so agree. I think that like well, first of all, to your point about dancing, I love a good dance party.
Yeah.
Dancing is so good for the soul, and I stand by
You
that.
know what? We need to get a dance party going soon.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm always down for a good dance party. But I think that like especially like where we are at the business school, I think that it's a lot of just like kind of the same and being so like it's we can definitely like dive into this more, but I think that creating like a schedule is great. But I also think that that itself can be super isolating. And especially when you see the same people and you have the same professors and you go to the same places to eat and et cetera, et cetera. So I feel like including spontaneity in your days are that is so important.
Yeah, and I think like and I'm slowly starting to realize why people talk so much about networking, especially in the business world, because like you're gonna talk to like a person one day and then you might see them another time and then another time and then they might be useful to you one day, right? Like
Yeah.
Delaney and I actually
Yeah. Actually,
actually
we relate to this.
Um, so we actually met at a scholarship event. We were like seated at
Mhm.
the same table and we're like introducing ourselves and I'm like, "So where do you go? And where are you gonna go?" And she's like, "I'm gonna go to CU Boulder." And I'm like, "Oh, me too." And she's like, "Yeah, so what are you gonna like study?" And I'm like, "I'm studying business. What about you?" And she's like, "Me too." And I was like, "Hey, we're literally that's crazy. Like how you just connect, and here we are. Like I
Hmm.
literally was
I
like, "Hey, you
know.
want to be on the pod?" And she's like, "Heck yeah." Like even though we don't see each other that much, like we'll say hi when we're like passing by, but like still that's like a connection that we instantly had and we instantly made, and here we are,
100%.
you know? And I'm
Yeah,
sure we like will find time in the future to like hang out and stuff, which we need to, but
I
like
agree.
it's just crazy how like connections are made. But Gavin,
Hmm.
do you have like an example like that?
Of just like a crazy connection.
Yeah.
Let me think. I can't think of any super crazy personal connections. Yes, I can. My This is really random. And it was from a while ago, but my dad had to get surgery on his knee, and his physical therapist after surgery, he invited to church, and so through going to church, I met him, talked to him, and then my junior and senior year of high school, I was looking for a job, and he said, "Hey, we're hiring at the physical therapy clinic. If you want to apply. I'm sure you can get it. I can put in a good word." And sure enough, I applied. He put in a good word, and I worked there for a bit over a year, and I loved it there. I learned a ton. Customer service was like my customer service experience was just elevated because I'm working with people who are like injured. Like no one wants to be injured. No one wants to be doing
Hmm.
physical therapy. And so being able to work around people who have that like who are in that situation really helped me grow patience. And that was all through just like a mutual random connection.
Yeah,
But
I didn't
it's
Yeah.
realize I had
super
a real
interesting.
estate class.
Yeah, it's literally crazy. And sometimes I'm just like, imagine all the connections we're gonna make in the future. Because now that we know the power of meeting new people and,
Hmm.
like you never know, like where you're gonna be in the future and who you're gonna talk to and how you're gonna meet. And you're gonna laugh about it like we did, like the way we met. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
crazy.
It is so
Right.
crazy. It's so interesting, like the people you meet. Like it, and another thing that I realized in college is that like so many people know so many people. And
Yeah.
it's like
Hmm.
so weird. Like I've had so many small world moments that it's like it's awesome. It's so fun to create those connections, but it's
Hmm.
also like it's like kind of blows my mind sometimes too.
Yeah,
Everyone is
absolutely.
connected.
All right,
Hmm.
Delaney. We'll start wrapping it up. We'll do two more questions. I'll ask the first one, and then Alakika will take it from there. My question would be: do you have a funny, crazy, interesting story from college so far? Because everybody knows college is college, and so everyone's experience is crazy in some way.
Um, so one of my I do have a crazy experience, but like it's more like fun and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it's not it doesn't really have to do with like academics, but with the Lead Scholars Program, we went to Camp Timberline, which is like a camp up in Estes Park.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like a retreat so that my cohort could get to know each other. And so, like the second day that I knew these people, we went on a sunrise hike. And it was like so crazy and weird to be like hiking up this giant mountain, like parkouring it and like trying to navigate everything and with these people that I like literally just met. And it was so crazy, but I remember it like so fondly. And it was just so funny. We were all like mountain goats and stumbling around like they're half awake at like 4 in the morning. But
Mm-hmm.
it was so fun. That was the first thing that came to mind. I don't know, but
That's
it's a fond
awesome.
memory.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Wait.
mean, that sounds so much fun. I Well, I haven't gone to retreat anytime recently, I don't think. No. But like back in high school when we used to go to all these like events and like overnight trips, I always remember it used to be so fun and surreal. Like it was like you're
Mm-hmm.
completely disconnected from so many things in your life and you're just there with the people in that moment. I don't even know if the Wi-Fi was working for you guys, but whenever we ever had like those trips, like the Wi-Fi would not work. Like they literally did that on purpose. And I just think it was like a blessing in disguise, even though everyone was like hating it because we're
Yeah,
so like used to and accustomed to our phones.
right.
But yeah, moments like those are like that and special, and that's
I
what
totally
makes
agree.
college and memorable and the best 4 years of your life, quote unquote, is what
Quote
they say.
unquote.
But yeah. Okay, well, are you ready for your last question?
I'm ready for it.
Okay, so usually we ask our speakers because they're usually older, like what would you tell your past self when you joined college? But since we're just freshmen, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and I'm gonna ask you, what do you wish to tell the Delaney 4 years down the line, and where do you expect to be?
Ooh, I love this question. I like it a lot. I would tell myself, first, I would tell myself, good job. Second, I would tell myself, listen to your friends when they tell you to take a break. I
Mhm.
tend to work super hard and push myself super hard, which is great. I have very strong intrinsic like motivation, but sometimes I stretch myself a little too thin. And I have great friends that tell me when to take a break, to recharge. And I think it's always important to listen to them because they have my best interests in mind. So
Mhm.
that is what I tell myself.
That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. That's very like relatable too, and I feel like we're always on the go, 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 and we never really take the time for ourselves. So, and sometimes we
Hmm.
just gotta lean on our friends and trust them and, listen to them because they can see you and
Mhm.
see all the things that you're doing. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Delaney, for being on the pod. We very much appreciate it. I know I had a blast. Gavin, what about you?
It was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much again for having me. This has
of
been so,
course.
so fun.
Of
This is my
course.
first time on a podcast, so it's pretty awesome.
Oh,
I'm
you just
I'm
did your
very
debut.
stoked.
Yeah, you
This is
just
my
had your debut.
debut. Well,
Yeah,
thank you guys so much for having me. I had
of
such a great time
course.
and it was so nice to talk to you both.
Of course. All right. Well, this is the College Lens podcast, and we will see you in episode number 9. See ya. Bye.
Bye.